Have you ever taken a personality test that asked whether you prefer large social gatherings or quiet solitude? Do you feel drained or energized after spending time with others? These questions point to one of the most fundamental distinctions in personality psychology: introversion versus extraversion. While today these terms are often casually tossed around, their roots run deep in the work of Swiss psychiatrist Carl Gustav Jung. In fact, Jung's psychological theories laid the foundation for much of modern personality assessment, including widely used tools like the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI. This essay explores how Carl Jung's original concepts of introversion and extraversion have influenced the development of personality theory and testing. It examines the origins of these ideas, how Jung defined and contextualized them, and how they have been adapted into contemporary models. We will also critically assess the accuracy, utility, and limitations of these categories in understanding human behavior. Carl Jung, 1875 to 1961, was a pioneering psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology. Initially a close collaborator of Sigmund Freud, Jung eventually parted ways with Freud due to significant theoretical disagreements, particularly concerning the nature of the unconscious. Whereas Freud emphasized repressed desires and sexual drives, Jung envisioned the unconscious as a more expansive, spiritual, and symbolic realm. Jung's analytical psychology emphasized individuation, the lifelong process of integrating different parts of the psyche to achieve psychological wholeness. A central component of this process involved understanding one's personality type, particularly one's orientation toward the external world, extraversion, or the internal world, introversion. Jung introduced the concepts of introversion and extraversion in his 1921 work, Psychological Types. For Jung, these were not rigid categories, but rather tendencies or orientations of energy. Extraversion referred to an outward turning of psychic energy. Extroverts are oriented toward the external world, people, activities, and sensory experiences. They draw energy from social interaction and external stimuli. Introversion involved an inward turning of psychic energy. Introverts are oriented toward the inner world of thoughts, feelings, and reflections. They draw energy from solitude and often find extended social interactions draining. Importantly, Jung did not see one type as superior to the other. Both are necessary and valid ways of relating to the world. Moreover, every individual has both introverted and extroverted tendencies, but one typically predominates. In addition to introversion and extraversion, Jung introduced 4 psychological functions: thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. Each function could manifest in either an introverted or extroverted form, resulting in 8 possible function attitudes. Extroverted thinking, introverted thinking, extroverted feeling, introverted feeling, extroverted sensation, introverted sensation, extroverted intuition, introverted intuition. Jung believed that every individual has a dominant function, the one most developed and used, an auxiliary function, a supportive one, and less developed tertiary and inferior functions. These combinations form the core of a person's psychological type. Jung's theory of psychological types deeply influenced Isabel Briggs Myers and her mother Catherine Cook Briggs. During World War II, they sought to create a practical tool for helping people understand themselves and others, particularly in work settings. This led to the development of the MBTI. The MBTI extends Jung's theory into 4 dichotomies: introversion, I, versus extraversion, E, focus of attention sensing, S, versus intuition, N, information processing thinking, T, versus feeling, F, decision-making judging, J, versus perceiving, P, interaction with the outside world. This last dichotomy was added by Myers and Briggs, not Jung. Combining these preferences yields 16 personality types, such as INFP, ESTJ, or ENTJ. While the MBTI has been both widely used and widely critiqued, it remains one of the most recognizable personality tools in the world, especially in educational, organizational, and counseling contexts. In recent years, the concepts of introversion and extraversion have entered popular culture, often in oversimplified or stereotypical ways. Introverts are frequently portrayed as shy, antisocial, or intellectual, while extroverts are seen as outgoing, talkative, and fun-loving. However, these portrayals miss the complexity of Jung's original theory. For Jung, introversion and extraversion were about energy orientation, not necessarily behavior. An introvert might be highly sociable but need alone time to recharge. An extrovert might enjoy solitude but feel more energized by group activities. Modern neuroscience has attempted to examine the biological basis of personality traits like introversion and extraversion. Research suggests that these traits may be linked to differences in brain structure and function. For example, studies indicate that introverts may have more sensitive dopamine systems, making them more easily overstimulated by external environments. Extroverts, by contrast, may require higher levels of stimulation to achieve optimal arousal. These findings support Jung's idea that the two orientations reflect fundamentally different ways of interacting with and responding to the world. While the MBTI and Jungian typology remain popular, contemporary psychology often favors trait-based models, particularly the five-factor model, also known as the Big Five. This model includes openness to experience, conscientiousness; extraversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. In the Big Five model, extraversion is a continuum rather than a dichotomy and includes traits like sociability, assertiveness, and positive emotionality. Introversion is not viewed as the opposite, but rather the low end of extraversion. This dimensional approach allows for greater nuance than the type-based model of Jung and the MBTI. Jungian personality theory and tools like the MBTI have been praised for their accessibility and usefulness in promoting self-understanding. Many people find them helpful for career planning, improving relationships, and personal development. However, critics argue that the MBTI lacks scientific validity and reliability. The binary structure forces people into categories, ignoring the fluid and dynamic nature of personality. Additionally, the MBTI does not predict job performance or other life outcomes as well as trait-based models. Still, Jung's influence remains profound. His ideas encourage introspection, embrace psychological diversity, and offer a framework for exploring the deeper aspects of personality. Understanding whether you lean more toward introversion or extraversion can provide practical benefits. Communication. Recognizing different energy needs can reduce misunderstandings in relationships. Career choices. Certain environments may suit one orientation better than another, e.g., sales versus research. Mental health. Understanding your personality can help you manage stress and design a life that aligns with your natural tendencies. It is also important to remain flexible. Life circumstances often require us to draw upon both introverted and extroverted energies. Jung himself believed in the need for balance and integration. Carl Jung's introduction of introversion and extraversion has had a lasting impact on how we understand personality. His emphasis on inner development, individuality, and the symbolic nature of the psyche continues to inspire psychologists, counselors, and spiritual seekers. While modern personality tests have expanded and sometimes distorted his ideas, Jung's core insight remains relevant. To know oneself is the beginning of wisdom. Whether you identify as an introvert, extrovert, or somewhere in between, what matters most is how you use that knowledge to grow, connect, and contribute meaningfully to the world around you. In the end, Jung's model is less about putting people into boxes and more about opening doors to the rich complexity of the human mind. If you enjoyed this video and found the insights helpful, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more thoughtful content on psychology, personal growth, and understanding the human mind. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for being a part of this journey.